here Monday afternoon. We had to come on early because of the little monkey's golden birthday today. So Grandpa's going to be over there tonight at the time we would normally be doing the show. So we're going to come on early. We're going to talk a little bit. Not going to be a long show, guys. There's not nothing out there. You know, I can't keep repeating the lies over and over, but let's say the pledge and the song, and then hopefully some people will come on and we'll get this show on the road. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom. They can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Yes, God bless the USA. Proud to be an American with Lee Greenwood. And you know, I was thinking, guys, I think what we need to do is when all of this happens, when all of these great things happen, I think we need to have a main concert somewhere. We'll pay for everything. We'll bus or fly or however we got to everybody in. And just our group alone. I mean, we can invite other thousands and thousands, but have an outdoor concert with Lee Greenwood, with John Denver, with Whitney Houston, and all of these great performers. And yes, someone's looking at me right now that may not be awake. And they might think, well, Lee Greenwood, yeah, but them other two there kind of taking a dirt nap. Well, I've learned a long time ago, you trust your instincts and you believe what you believe to be true, and I do not believe that a lot of these people are not with us anymore, and I want to discuss that later today. See, because if you notice, our shows, they've been moving all over the place, and I do apologize for that. I'm a patriot and I believe in patriotism. I love my family here. But today is my little monkey, little Addison's golden birthday, and I'm going to share it with her later this evening. And it's funny because yesterday she had her rehearsal for her dance coming up. She's into dance. And I'll make sure I take pictures and share with you guys when she has this. But I went to Walmart, and at Walmart, it seems like whenever I go and I haven't seen my daughter or my grandkids for a while, if I go to Walmart, I'll run into them there. Am I proud that I shop at Walmart? Not really. But you know, when there's nothing really else in town to shop at, we have to eat and we have to move forward. I run into her and she was all excited. They had bought her birthday cake, and they also bought some cupcakes for her to take to school today for her classmates. And she was just, when you ask her her birthday, when she was born, she'll tell you 5/5/2020. Isn't it amazing how close I am with her? And 5 is my favorite number. Today it popped up and I posted it on Facebook. I shared it with people. 4 years ago today, she was 1 year old. And I got a picture with her, and boy, what a difference. But you know, the love that we have for each other is still totally there. And then my granddaughter, super gymnast Ella, she just had an event the other day where she had to go up and make a speech and tell who she was. She was representing someone famous from the past. And her chosen one was Harriet Beecher Stowe. And she got up there. And you know, super gymnasts used to be shy, and she talked real low. She talked real low. You know, you couldn't you almost had to say, "What did you say? What did you say?" But when she went into middle school, which is more or less junior high, but she's in the 5th grade, and they had a play, and she went out for it. As a 5th grader, she went out for it. And she got a part, and she was very good in it. And I was so worried about her because she talked so low that I was afraid the people couldn't hear. And me and her talked, and her mom and her talked, and everybody just gave her confidence. And she says, "Don't worry, I got it." So I went to that play. And as a grandpa, and the love I have for her, when I knew her part was coming up, her main part, I was nervous. I was probably more nervous than she was. And she got up there, and I've never heard her talk so loud unless she was yelling at Liam, Patriot 7, or the little monkey. And she nailed her part. And I mean, after the show was over, the people that went up and was just congratulating her. The girl, an 8th grade girl who had the biggest part in the whole play, come up to her and said, "In 3 years, Ella, this can be your part." And she loves the acting part. And we're gonna do what we got to do. But she stepped up there and she did this part on Harriet Beecher Stowe. And she made a little mistake. The old Ella would have went, "Oh," and got embarrassed and probably had a very bad experience. The new Ella, who's got confidence, smiled and laughed like it was part of her, what she was supposed to say. And she went on and she nailed it. I was watching Small Hank the other day, and I said, "Hey, why don't you do some of your martial arts for me? Let me see what you're doing. Let me see how you've improved." And he showed me, and he's improved. So I snuck up on him and I acted like I was going to do some martial arts on him. And he blocked me. And I said, boy, you're getting better. Little Kira, she fell down all the steps yesterday. We got 12 steps coming from the upstairs to the down. But you tell me God wasn't on her side? It's a little girl that might have been taken to the hospital. But as she fell, there was a clothes basket full of clothes sitting right there at the top of the stairs that her mom hadn't put away yet, or if she ever will. But she grabbed at that clothes basket, and as she yanked, somehow she fell into the clothes basket, and she got to go down them steps in the clothes basket. We're all running and yelling and screaming to make sure she's okay. And her reaction was, again. It's amazing what kids will do. And then, I go to Telegram and Super Jimmy's in there, and I guess Super Jimmy's got his own channel going now or something. And he's wanting likes or something. I didn't understand it. But I really wish Jimmy would step back just 100 meters and be a kid. He's really caught up into this Patriot movement, and I love him for it. But I really wish he would just be a kid. Patriot 11, haven't seen him or heard anything for him now for quite some time. But summer's coming up, I think. I mean, it's still 45 degrees out here right now. Rains, it says sunshiny and beautiful. We go outside and it's raining. I go to drive to town and it's raining. It's always raining. So, Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, I'm still waiting for you to send me another little video telling me how you're doing. I really enjoy them. Mike sending me pictures of little Leona. I got some pictures the other day of little Leilani. And see, them two kids just melt my heart. Like all the kids do, but them two, one of them's named after my mom, and one of them's named after my favorite aunt. Now, I'm not saying I didn't love my other two aunts. I did. But one of them that probably would have been my favorite died a lot earlier. She was a lot older than my mom. She actually babysat my mom. She was that much difference. But the one that was named Leilani, she was the younger sister. She was 2 years younger than my mom. And then I had an Aunt Alma that, until I was like 20 years old, I really thought she really was a witch. She used to tell me every Halloween she flew around on her broom. And whenever you'd go over her house, she'd have 2 or 3 brooms. And nobody has 2 or 3 brooms, but she did. But I had some great aunts. No grandparents. One uncle, but he died when I was 10. I had a couple other aunts that was on my dad's side that, uncles on my dad's side, they didn't claim us. Patriot Prince is our queen. How you doing sports-wise, sweetie? Hunter, how you doing? I bet you got them girls going nuts. You're a handsome young man. Speaking of handsome, go back there to Patriot 11. Remember, I used to tease him all about it. I mean, that boy would go from one girlfriend to another, but that's how it is. But quick little story about Patriot 7. I go to his ball game Friday night, and the little girl that he liked the year before in 2nd grade, she's at the game. Her brother's on the same team. And I said, Emma, I hear you like my grandson. She goes, no. I said, really? Because he really likes you. She smiled at me and she says, well, I just didn't want to tell anyone. But they went over to drive by my daughter's house the other day, a week ago Saturday. And my daughter and her husband, my son-in-law, Grandma Bo's grandson, the kids was, little monkey was outside. The other 2 kids was over at a friend's house. And they stopped and they said, hey, what are you guys doing? He said, why don't you guys stop? We'll have a few drinks. We'll sit outside. It's a beautiful night. It was finally a night it wasn't raining. It was beautiful. As the song says, 1,000 stars in the sky. Beautiful moon. They sat out there. The adults drank, the kids played. All of a sudden, Emma and her brother says, where's Ella and Liam, the Patriot super gymnast and Patriot 7? Well, they're over at Olive's house. And the other little girl that I'm telling you about, Emma, she goes, really? So the mom says, well, is Liam your boyfriend? Mom, I'm too busy to have a boyfriend. Which mom was really happy, really happy. What happens, as soon as Liam gets back, Emma walks up to him and says, so is Olive your girlfriend now? And Liam says, no. Ella wanted to go over there and play, so I went with her. So she's not your girlfriend? Who is? And Liam smiled at her, and she said, okay, that's all I needed to know. This is so beautiful watching these little kids, because think about it, guys. We may be up in years, but the kid still lives in us. And just think about when you had the crush on the first boy, or you had the crush on the first girl. And I don't care if you're a boy or a girl that had a crush. I don't care. I don't care about that stuff. But it's so much fun when the kids start having fun as kids and not as people on computers. Yesterday I got woke up. Brandon said, can you keep an eye on Kira? Because she had fallen and they had some work to do outside. And I said, sure. So I got up out of bed and I went out. We're having a great time, and all Hank is on this game. And me and Kira's playing. And I walked over and I picked up the game and I shut it off. Grandpa Hank, what are you doing?
What?
I said, you're going to play with us.
I'm going to play with you.
No, I'm doing the show. Can't say Ron. I said, Grandpa Hank. I think Ron got the screen. I said, well, I'm not going to let you be on something like that. We're gonna have fun here. And first thing he said to his mom and dad when he came in, I figured he's going to knock me out for not letting him play on his machine. He says, that's so much fun. We just played. We built things with his toys, and we did things and run the little girl all over the place. We just had fun. And that's what I'm trying to tell all kids. Now, Boogie, Boogs, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo. I bet you guys have a lot of fun together. Boogs, I believe you're the oldest. I know you're a teenager, and you probably think your younger ones are a little bit. No, they're not. You're going to be babysitting them if you aren't already. But you know what? When you babysit them, you really want to have fun? Tell them bring Grandpa John over to babysit with you. Because he does need some babysitting too. So for all the kids, just know that we love you. And I'm telling you, things are going to happen. I believe it. I ain't seeing anything, but I just believe it. I got this feeling. Baby, I got this feeling that something's going to happen. And it's going to happen soon. So that takes care of the kids. I do want to let every kid know that this show is not meant for you. You can watch it, though, because we love you, under the discretion and okay of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. Also, the music that we played tonight, or today, we have no legal rights to. We just played it because we love it. It's kind of our theme song. And to be honest with you, I tried to get permission, but I was going to get permission the night I was going to see Lee Greenwood in concert, but I got sick and wasn't able to go. But I will get better, and we will have him at our own concert. But that takes care of everything. We just use it. We have no legal rights to it, though. So, where are we at? Wow. 1 minute you hear Canada's going to be the 51st state, and the next minute you hear they elected someone new that they hate it. Okay, so this man hates us. He hates us. He wants nothing to do with us. So let's break everything off with him. Everything. You know the one thing you can say, pardon me? Yep. The one thing you can say about this is if you break everything off with them, at least Canada would again take over supremacy of hockey. Because see, they made the mistake of letting the United States in to hockey. And now them amazing, unbelievable teams of Toronto and Montreal. And if there's any Canadians on here, I apologize to you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad that we have a president now that is trying to help the world, and the world is rebuking him. They're treating him like he's an imbecile. They wanted to have nothing to do with us. Let's give them their wish. And let's see how fast it takes for that person to get kicked out of office and Canada come running to us. We need your help. You've seen it when they said what they were going to do with the energy to a few places in the United States that relies on Canada for their energy, their electricity. You've seen what they said they were going to do. And our president put the hammer down. And the next thing you knew, the tail went between the legs, and here they come running. And once again, I am not cutting Canada down. I love it. One of my favorite shows on TV is a show called Heartland. I watch it 3-4 times a week. It's a show I actually can watch, and I feel it's not all about who's going to get killed and who's going to do this and who's going to do drugs. It's just a beautiful show played by good people. Amber Marshall, who plays Amy, she's the whole show. Her grandpa Jack, can't think of his real name. They're the backbone of the show. But then you have people come on that they think they're going to take over the show. And it ruins things. We were raised here, and you guys that are around my age, you're going to remember this. We was raised, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So that's how it should be. So, I do want to talk about something that happened to me yesterday. Because this goes to show the kind of world we live in. I went to town shopping. I told you I run into the little monkey in Walmart. After I left there, Burkhart's had sweet corn on the cob on sale, 10 ears for $4. Someone to run across town and get some for Ron and me. I did, and when I got to the gas station right across the street, I said, whoa, I'm under a quarter tank of gas. I better put some gas in. So I get out, and it had been raining, and there's water standing that much, and I got my tennis shoes on, and I'm getting my feet wet, but I gotta pump my own gas. Which we know that, because remember, in order to pump gas, it was supposed to take the prices down. They ain't going down. Our president can tell you, oh, they're going down. Well, you know what? They ain't here. Maybe they will. Because I believe in him. So I pumped my gas standing in water, and a lady's laughing at me. I said, really not funny, ma'am. My feet are getting cold. And she goes, yeah, she says, I have to laugh because it used to be when I was a kid, when my mom and dad would pull into a gas station, someone would come out, how much you want? You tell them, they'd put the thing in, they'd start running your gas, lift your hood, check your oil, wash your windows. It was all in the price of the gas, which back then was maybe 29 cents a gallon. Now you get out, you put a card in, Are you? No. First, you put your phone number in where I get my gas. First thing I do is I put my phone number in, and I can get my gas for 5 cents a gallon less. Then I got a little card that if I scan the card, I can get 10 cents a gallon more off. Now, 15 cents a gallon, right? I tell you, back in the day, that would have really been good. They'd have been giving us money back from gas. 15 cents a gallon off, and I still spent $3.29 a gallon. But you know what? They say the gas is going down. I go inside after I fill up. I go inside and I went to check to make sure I had enough money because, just spent $100 million on gas. So I get in there and I said to the lady, there's 2 ladies behind the counter. I said, hey, I walk up there and I'm first in line. And I says to her, I said, I'm going to get 2 Polar Pops. The big ones. I'll go ahead and pay for them now. But I said, I just received a message that by coming here, I've made enough trips in here that I want a free Polar Pop. How do I go by exchanging that? Figuring, okay, whenever I get the Polar Pop, to get the discount, I always got to put my phone number in. Everything is attached. Well, you got to have your phone, and there should be a scan on that message. Well, there wasn't, but I said, you know what, I'm not going back out to the car, walking in that ankle-deep water, getting wetter, just to save. I said, I'll just go ahead and pay. Well, you got to go get your pop first. I said, why? Well, because you have to set it down here so we can scan it. It's 2 Polar Pops. I put my number in there, 79 cents a piece. 79 times 2 plus tax. Nope, can't do that. So I go over and I get the Polar Pop. I come and I get behind 2 or 3 people. One person has trouble. Couldn't figure out how to pay for his own thing. Now there's 2 ladies standing back there, won't help him. I figure it out yourself. She finally figures it out. Another one finally gets up there and does it, and it's my turn. So I put my Polar Pops down. I said, I need you to hit the button so I can put my number in. Oh, you got a number? Oh, yeah. I already told you I did. So they hit the number, and I put everything in. Now I got to take my money, my 2 $1 bills. I got to take and I got to put it in the little slider, and then I got to wait for my change. Why, 2 women are standing back there doing absolutely not one freaking thing. There's another counter that doesn't have that set up. You can actually just go and pay the cashier. But 2 women are standing back there doing nothing. While there's 6 and 7 people behind me now. And I said, can I ask you a question? Are you purposely trying to lose your job? And they said, why would you say that? And I said, because you're standing there doing nothing. You're proving to your boss you don't need to be here. I said, we can maybe get a little robot in here that'll do some work. And they go, well, that wasn't very nice. And I said, well, it's not very nice that 7 people are standing behind me. I said, I came here. I had to put my own gas in. I had to pay for my own gas without you guys. I come in here. I had to get my pop. I got to pay for it. And now I got to do everything here. You guys have did absolutely nothing to help me. So what is the purpose of you being here? 2 people standing behind me that had pop and a couple of other items said, you know what? He's right. They walked over by the donut part where there's a little counter, and they put their stuff down and said, when you guys decide you want us to be your customer and deserve us to come here, we'll come back. We don't really need this pop. We really didn't need these donuts or these candy bars. So you now have something to do. You can throw the pop away because it's no good no more. And you can take the candy bars and put back where they go. So I'm going to stand here for a minute to watch you do it because we want to see if you guys really can work. And I didn't do it to be a smart ass, guys. I did not. Excuse me, kids, for saying that word, but I did not do it. But I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Then I go across the street to Burkhart's, and they practically fall all over you to help you. It's funny because Burkhart's is always packed. and their customers come out happy. We got to change this. We got to change this. And then one other thing, when I was in Walmart, a guy was wearing a Michael Jackson t-shirt. I looked at him and I said, what would you think if you saw him in concert again? He looked at me. He didn't even blink an eye, and he said, I think I was dead. And I didn't get it at first, and he started to laugh. And then finally, oh, I see what you mean. I was going a different direction. And he says, what's that? And I showed him a couple of articles that we know about Michael Jackson. I showed him a couple of pictures of people who were pretty sure that he's portrayed. He goes, my goodness. He goes, he's always been my favorite performer. He said, I cried like a baby, and this was a 26, 27-year-old man. So he wouldn't have been that old when Michael died. He's been gone for a while, or supposedly died. And I said, there's so many of them out there. He said, who? I ended up standing there talking to this guy for 10 minutes, telling him. But see, it wasn't good enough just to tell him. I had to show him what we know. So it is what it is. And yes, I'm a little bit windy today, and I'm telling stories, guys, but I'm telling stories, and they're happy stories, because I'm trying to get everybody's vibrations up. We got 96 people on here right now, and I just announced less than an hour ago that I was coming on. What you guys do here is unbelievable. But whenever there's really goodness and there's happiness, there's always a time of need. And our time of need right now reaches out to people like Sharon Becky, a tremendous follower, a tremendous woman who every morning starts my day off with an emoji. Every day she starts on my day off with an emoji. It's usually let's have a cup of coffee together or something. And I can't stand coffee. But I tell you, I want that coffee emoji every morning because it puts a smile on my face. Sharon Becky just went through a procedure. She's home, she's okay, she's getting better, but keep her in your prayers. Linda Scullen, I'm not sure I pronounced her last name right. Linda's a remarkable woman that every day starts off with a message to me, reminded me to take my medicine. And yes, Linda, I have taken it. I've elevated my feet, and I've doing my walks. But boy, I tell you, when people care, I have Cindy and so many other people who send me just little things. It doesn't have to be much. Today, as I told you, is my granddaughter, the little monkey's golden birthday. Well, I can't send her a message on the internet because she doesn't have the internet, but her mommy does. And I had everything ready to go. And as soon as my watch said 12 o'clock, I hit the button. And at 12 o'clock exactly, I sent a message with a happy birthday, a golden birthday wish to my granddaughter. And once again, happy birthday, Addison. Grandpa loves you. And another one is a girl named Ina. Ina was my daughter Amber's best friend in high school. And as I told her today when I wished her a happy birthday, I said, you was my daughter's best friend, but I always considered you my second daughter, a sister to my son and my daughter. You never was just a friend. Ina's moved to Florida now, and we don't see her as much, but she's an amazing kid. Yeah, she's the same age as my daughter, and I'm not going to tell you their age but they're at that age. Ina is, and my daughter will be soon. They're at that age when you ask an older lady, how old are you? They never go over. So I'm not telling you how old they are, but do the math. Now, where are we? Everybody keeps saying we're ready to go. Everybody keeps telling us that everything is good. Everybody keeps saying we're going to get the notices. I had my talk with God yesterday, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen when He's ready. Am I frustrated? Oh, God, yes. I got a little dog that's going to be 14 years old this year, and her little sister died a year and a half ago. She's hanging on because we want to get her on that bed. I promised her, she hangs on, we get her on the bed. She goes back to where she's like a little puppy, and I'll get her a new little playmate. She's doing okay. She has a day here and there. Also, keep in prayer for Linda. She's got a little cat that's a little sick, and we pray for the little cat. See, one thing you're going to find on here also, guys, is my love for animals. Me and Linda talk all the time when this happens, how we're going to work to really put an end to the misery of animals. And it doesn't have to just be dogs and cats, so that's where we're going to start. But, you know, the one thing I did find out about these magical beds are for horses and cows. And so what's that going to do, guys? What's that going to do? A lot of people don't want to give up that one amendment that they can't bear arms, they can't have guns. But if we're gonna make a turn to where you can't shoot and kill animals like that, what's it gonna do? I don't know. Someone says, well, how are we gonna eat? We can't do this, we can't do that. We're gonna have replicators. Now I'm gonna tell you something about replicators. Watch the Jetsons. Watch Rosie, the maid. And I know when Mary Ann watches this, she's gonna say, right on, Ralph. Me and Mary Ann talk a lot on Tuesday and Thursday night about the Jetsons. And you know, people think that these replicators are unreal. Just put yourself in this position right now. Think of yourself. Think of yourself as a person who you get up in the morning and you're running late. You didn't set nothing out to wear. And I'm going to use my daughter as an example. She didn't set nothing out to wear for school today. She's running late. She's got 3 kids she's trying to get ready for school. 3 kids that need to eat breakfast. And she goes, what do you want for breakfast? One wants cereal. One wants bacon and eggs. And one wants waffles. She goes to the replicator and she says, I want this, 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 and this. And boom, she's got it. She didn't lay nothing out. She said, I'd like to wear a black sweater with a pair of black stretch pants, a pair of underwear, and a bra. She's got it. And then when she's done with everything, when the kids are done, they take the plates and the garbage, they put it in another machine, and it turns right back into the replica. Think of that, guys. No more garbage. No more garbage. When my grandkids leave their toys sitting on the floor and they won't pick them up, and I walk in at night and it's dark, I take my shoes off because it's raining. I don't want to get the floors muddy. And all of a sudden I step on a toy and I say a few special words that I don't use here anymore. Then I pick it up and I throw it halfway across another room out of frustration, but now I don't have to. When they go to bed, they can pick it up and they can put it in the replicator, and they get up in the morning, they just order a new one and they got brand new ones. Think of no housekeeper. But, you know, I think everybody should have a Rosie the robot. I don't think I named mine Rosie. Mary Ann, I'm going to ask you to do something. For those who don't remember Rosie the robot, send an emoji to the messenger page of Rosie. Mary Ann has the best emojis. Well, no, I'm partial to Sharon because she sends me one every day. But guys, you don't understand what you guys mean to me when you send me all these things. There's some days I get up and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to get up. I want to roll over, not roll out. But I know I got to roll out, so I do. But when we get on these beds, we're not going to have to worry about rolling over and rolling out. We're going to open our eyes and we're going to say, wow, another beautiful day. I'm just wondering, with these replicators, do you think we can say, God, I just want it to be sunshiny today? There we go. Marianne just put Rosie the robot up here. Thank you. Great job, Marianne. That's Rosie the robot. You know, guys, we're all frustrated. We're all aggravated. Now, when I say Marianne just put it up there, she put it on a Patriot5, Patriot6 LED Freedom Ring messenger. But I'll show it to you. Here's Rosie. Thank you, Marianne. So, as you can see by my talking, ranting, and raving, I don't have a whole lot. I didn't even prepare for this. What do you prepare for? Do you prepare for TNT Tony telling us it's today? Oh, this is weird. Ron sent me this video. This is weird because he sent me this video. And I thought he had sent me Restored Republic, so I clicked on it so I could see what I could read for Restored Republic. But it isn't. It's the same video that I'm sharing with you guys right now. That I'm doing. I'm doing it on this screen, but watching it on my tablet. So we got to get out of that. That was weird. There we go. Let's see what we got. Because like I said, guys, I'm not here right now to talk about what's going on. If you have any questions, send me the question and I'll try to answer it. But as far as actually knowing, oh, that's cool. Marianne also sent to the messenger site, May the 4th be with you. It's got a cute little emoji there. I don't think we're going to have any Restored Republic reading today. I don't see any. All he's got is the playful one. Maybe here. Nope. Guys, I don't have anything. So we'll just talk about what I know or what I've heard. TNT Tony is very adamant. Patriot Diane with 2 N's. She is always keeping me abreast of what's going on. She lets me know what's happening and that. Today is the 5th. I was really hoping today would be the day we'd get some good information, but we have Bruce coming up tomorrow night, right, Marianne? We have Bruce coming up, and, you know, I see things. A couple things before I go I want to talk about is, you know, the money that's been found from Doge, the money that's been found, the gold that's been found in the Vatican, the things that are going on. It's almost too much to comprehend. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I hope you guys listen to this because to me, it's a very touching subject. There's a lot of people coming out right now, guys. I've been doing these shows for over 5 years. I've been a Patriot for over 18 years. I've been following people for that long. I bought a lot of currency. I've helped people buy a lot of currency. And am I right in doing so? We won't know until it actually revalues. But do you feel better in the morning knowing that you have a possibility of waking up the next morning and your dreams will be answered. Now, we all know that we've been told that we have a quantum account, that we're already, all of us are already millionaires. I heard the other day it may be more than millions. But stop and think about it. If we go back to the 50 prices, my goodness, $1 million would probably be worth 12 or 13 million. If we do get the raise in Social Security, if we do get, everyone gets Doge money for however many years, all I'm going to ask everybody is think before you do. Someone said, well, you won't want to go out and do this. You don't want it. You know what? Here's my thing. I want a nice house to live in. Something that is clean, something that Rosie can keep clean for me at all times. I want a new car. I want it, and people can make fun of me if they want. But I remember there used to be a family in town. They had some money here, and they never bought new tires. They never bought money. They never spent money on tires. Because when you get a car, a brand new car should be good. Tires on it should be good for 35 to 40,000 miles. Now, I'm a kid that grew up along with Ron and our brother Russ and our family. We grew up on the weekends in a tire shop. That's where my dad worked. So we would go up there on the weekends on Saturday and be with him. So we know what good tires are. And they actually do make a pretty good tire nowadays. But here's the thing. When you buy your brand new car, you tell them, if you don't like the tires that's on there, you tell them what you want on there. If you want a 60,000 mile tire, which is going to get you easily, unless you hit something, a nail or something that would bust it open, it's going to get you 50,000 easily. Or the money you have, why would you want to drive your new car over 40 or 50,000? By the time you get to that, it's not going to be a new car anymore, so you're going to want another new car. And it's not being greedy, it's just being, we don't want to change a tire. So there's one gentleman in town, him and his wife, they never had a flat tire because when they'd get to about 25,000, they would trade the car in and they would get a new car. And someone said, what's that run you? And he said, about 2 years. He said, we buy it with cash. When we trade it off, it's got a great value. And the thing what people didn't realize is, yes, the prices of cars was going up, but so was the prices of trade-ins. And when a car dealership could get a car with 25,000 miles on it, 2 years old, that is a great thing. That's getting, probably 2 years later, getting the same price for what that man paid for it brand new 2 years ago. And that's how he did it. And that's kind of how I want to do it. But I also want to have some kind of car, very nice, as a backup. Also plan on having a fleet of buses that I have people working for me, working for Patriot5, Patriot6, Humanitarian projects where people don't want to drive. Ring, ring. Yeah, this is Mike from whatever. Okay, Mike, what's up? Well, I'd like to go shopping today. I was wondering if you could send a bus for me. Sure can. Bus, car, whatever. Go get it. If they don't want to shop, we're going to have people lined up that'll go do the shopping for them. We're going to make life easy for people, guys. That's the kind of humanitarian projects I want to do. There's going to be some people that they're not going to believe in these beds. They're not going to get on them. So instead of having another 100 years or 200 years to live, if they're like my age and they don't believe in it, they might have 10 more. But you know what? Even if they don't believe in it, let's make them 10 years the best that they can be. They need to go someplace. Hey, they can go. They need their house fixed up. let's get it fixed up for them. And I really hope I can touch and get to people what I'm conveying here, because, guys, we're going to have it all. I just read an article that our hat man announced that he will not be taking his $400,000 annual salary. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing because $400,000 a year is what they make. There was a guy that he was the first one of his color. He went into office. He was in there for 8 years. 8 years. 400,000. Hey, he saves his pennies, right? He's a rich man. That's $3.2 million. Why would he have to spend anything? He's the president. Man, he can be a millionaire, which he was already. I think he was valued at $7 million when he went in. So $7 million and 3.2, that's $10.2 million. Do you think you could live on the rest of your life on $10.2 million? I think I could. But wait, they've checked his accounts. They've did other things, and he's valued at $43 million. Now, this has nothing to do with all the accounts that they can't even find. When he was in office, you know, I'll tell you a joke. When he was running for president, they asked him, what is going to be your main thing to be a successful president? And he says, I got to have a vice president that is dumber than me. Well, we know who his vice president was. Well, then after a term of the good president, after he left office, this other gentleman, his vice president runs for presidency, and they said, hey, you as a vice president, when you win and become president, what is your goal? Just going to make you a great president. He says, I have to get a vice president that's dumber than me. And we all know who his vice president was. And yes, she was. But then he gets old and senile. And if the teleprompter went off, he stood there like this. So they decided to run his vice president against our great candidate for president. And they said, hey, when you win, what's going to be your secret to success? And she says, I have to get a vice president that's dumber than me. And we seen who her running mate was. And she didn't win. And when she didn't win, she was confronted. And they said, why do you think you lost? Why do you think you lost so bad? And her answer was, because my vice president would have been the next one up for president, and there is no one dumber than him. So it ended. I thought I'd end that with a little joke. I hope you guys liked it. All I'm going to ask you to do, guys, is there's a lot of people who's in it for the money. I believe they're going to get their hands slapped when all this is said and done. A lot of them that have made a lot of money. There's a lot of people like myself and Ron and all of us here that we're in it for the patriotism. We're in it because we actually want to make America great again. We've been doing it a long time. Keep focused on that type of person. There's a lot of people coming out now Where have they been? It's like in the fall, if you live in a farming community, in the farm, all of a sudden you got mice. There's mice everywhere because they're coming out of the fields because they're getting their homes invaded with corn pickers and bean pickers. There's people like that coming out of the woodwork now. People's coming out and someone said to me the other day, have you ever heard of this person? Nope. Have you heard of this one? Nope. Well, they're saying this. Well, who are they? Well, I don't know. Well, I don't either. Are they new? Oh, yeah, I've never heard of them before. 55:55 on the clock. On the 5th, my granddaughter's golden birthday. But, who are these people? What I'm trying to make a point here, guys, is there's people coming out of the woodwork trying to get us to do things that we don't need to do. So don't listen to them. If you hear something and you want to believe, but you don't want to believe, but you want to know, just remember one thing. There's people that's doing whatever they can do. People doing whatever they can do to make our lives tougher. Thanks everyone for coming today. As far as I know right now, Wednesday night is a go. I hope this gets out to a lot of people. Was there a lot of information? No. Was there some rah-rahs, this, boom, bah? Yes. But there's just not a lot of information out there. And that's out there, it has dates to it, and I refuse to give information that has dates tied to it. If they want to say it could happen tomorrow or the next day, I'll talk about that. USA is number one, Nick. But everyone have a great day. If anything pops that I think we need, I'll come back on tonight. It's just that it's hard to do the shows because I don't want to lie. I don't want to go out and give you information and then it not happen. For all the people that love me and all the people who hate me, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.